Hello there.
Shift drive charging. Shift drive operating beyond safety limits. Warning. Freight shift drive operating beyond safety limits. Freight shift drive supercharged.
Good evening and welcome everybody, it's ObiPEZ for Intemplex Pachinko. We're doing some Elite Dangerous tonight, and we're currently hanging out in the Zuni MMC D31 system. So this is in the middle of, pretty much literally the middle of nowhere, and trying to register a few new systems, get a few new discoveries in, and then also we have a couple of sectors that we've tagged for stellar cartography. So I have at the moment seen fit to run us off in a couple of weird directions. I'll show you in a second here. Okay.
System scan complete.
Okay. So no, yep. Our carrier. No, that's where we left off. So our carrier dropped us off at location. With the stellar coordinates 11,670 minus 1,073 by 23,310, give or take. You know, we're over here. Our starting height at this point was a minus 1,000. In terms of stellar cartography, that's pretty much like the floor of where we wanted to be in the first place, which means that I actually had to fly up another 2 jumps before we got anything close. Yep, there we go. Ah, right. Yes. Does show an actual updated view of it. However, it's not in the same place that my other monitor is. Not that that matters. If we interact, we should be able to go all the way over here. Okay. So I found a path which is currently at 10,000 0 23,002 up to 9,999 by positive 1,000 by 22,998 in a sector called Hypou Aod, or AOD, and it's just like basically a column of stars that goes from Z being 1,000 all the way down through to Z being negative 1,000. Now I think yeah, I don't have the negative numbers for this yet, but that doesn't matter. So with these numbers here, Zuni and Hypou, I just basically wanted to find a particular location that, interacting with the wrong one, Hypou and Zuni, Hypou being the negative sectors and Zuni being the positive sectors. These were in, roughly speaking, the same place. So our X values were somewhere around 11,200, and our Z values were somewhere around 23,300. I think is the long and short of it. Yeah. 11,200 by Z values by 23,300, give or take. We just kind of found some stars within that column to try and match up. Basically, the idea is that I'm picking stars that are within like four sectors. So we go like this, and we say, okay, within each of these squares, I'm going to center around a particular crosshash of tens of light years. And then I'm going to pick stars which are within these four, basically 20 by 20 square. If I can. In some other places it wasn't quite possible. We had to cheat a little bit, find stars that may have been slightly outside of it, but overall that is what we're aiming for. In these sectors, I found that's not a problem. In the sectors which are very close to the galactic core comparatively, no matter which block we're doing, basically anywhere, we're getting the system count. So like if I pick a random star system, from this star system within 20 light years in any direction, so within a 20 light year sphere, I will almost certainly get 49 systems. So 49 plus itself are going to be on the scanner. Yeah. So pretty much every single one of those these are all going to be maxed out every single time. So the sorry, trying to figure out if the old CPU over here is overheating. It's fine. The measure then of the stellar density is going to be this distance over here, which is where does our scanner max out? So where is that 49th system? And in this case, it is at 7.48 light years. That is a very extreme tiny distance. Everything else that we've done so far has been into the double digits. So anything that's like these other ones down here, 11, 12, whatever, they only had one decimal point. And when it dropped below below 2 digits, then it actually kind of shifted our significant figure, or I guess technically the number of significant figures is going to be the same. It is 3, so we end up with whether it's 2 before the decimal place and 1 after, or it's going to be 1 before and 2 after. Stop. Then, right, so since we're in the Hypou Aod systems over here, you know what, we may as well just add in the negatives as well. So we duplicate the sheet, slide it over one, and rename. We'll just leave this as copy of, or we can actually take the copy of out and leave it as Hypou Aod, and then change it whenever we get there. So that's less of a problem. Today is the 24th, so we're not going to get it reasonably done until the 25th. So we change the date, And our where we're actually headed at the moment. Oh, there we go. You'll notice that the Z value for these stars is going to be in the positive 1000 region, and again, all of these are going to be above 1000. So, like, we're not even scanning these. Alright, there we go. BVX B47-6. That is the last one that we have on our... Sorry, I'm trying to activate this to get it to center, but it doesn't want to do that right now. It's fine. Doesn't particularly matter, in fact. But alright, as long as our stellar coordinates are correct, 9999, 1000, 22998. 22998. Yep. Okay. So our frameshift drive has been supercharged by the neutron star. We are now going to jump 221 light years. 220.62, which is, I believe, second place for the longest jump that I've ever done. Neutron supercharge is awesome. Alright, we're going to let this charge. Hope everybody's having a nice night. Happy Friday. Let's see. The other type star in here is red dwarf, so not particularly helpful. Okay, I lost, there we go. Come on. I really don't like this area of the map/galaxy because it, for some reason, there we go, set target. The clickable distance on a star is apparently just like only a couple of pixels, so
Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
break out. Cool. I did throttle down. planets are all over the place. There's no good orbital plane. There you go. It joins up with those.
System scan complete.
Okay, another 218 light years.
Drive charging.
Jumping to another neutron star.
Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
Damn. Bucked right out.
Frameshift drive operating
There we
beyond
go.
safety limits. Frameshift drive.
Alright, how are we doing on health of the FSD? So, we go over, okay, we're still at 95%, so we're doing okay. Okay. There was also, we needed to double check and see. We need to double check and see what the other scientific surveys were. See if there's anything else that we need to keep an eye out for.
System scan complete.
217.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh, right through that one.
Beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
It's gonna take forever. There we go.
Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
Does not want to stay.
Frameshift drive operating beyond
There we
safety
go.
limits. Frameshift drive supercharged. Frameshift drive charging.
To another neutron star. Oh, wait a minute, hang on. Oh, no, that I did not. Ooh, they announced the Elite Community Meet. It's going to be in Coventry, England on September 5th. Don't think I'm going, but you know. There was some post that I just clicked on, not 20 minutes ago, that said, you know, check out this pinned post, but I don't see the pins anymore. Or I don't see the pinned post that I was looking at. Must be something different, right? Hum. No, scientific. Oh, is it just under the scientific survey? Probably. For more details about the scientific surveys, check out the pinned post. Yes, that one. Search for Earth 2.0 parameters. Data will be pulled from Spanch. Okay. Okay, so I don't know. enter this system, BO-F, D12, dash 158. System not found. DUMBOU? Yep. Dangerous. Logs? No. Well, now I don't know what I want. It might be that. Okay, no Earth-like worlds. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so oh, that's also the next system, not this system. Anyway, we'll figure it out.
Frameshift drive operating beyond
Jeez.
safety limits. Frameshift drive
Well, there we go. Cool. Okay, check outside. There it is.
system scan complete.
Another 220. Oh, wait, hang on. How far away is this? 4,000? Yeah. I mean, like, as much as I would like. Technically, it's probably fine.
Frameshift drive
It's a K-type, so yeah, we can make that jump. K-types are scoopables, so we can get our fuel at the next star. And don't have to worry about running out of fuel, because that's terribly embarrassing, especially this far out.
Fuel scooping.
Okay. I forget where Earth-like worlds are supposed to be here. Ah, there we go.
Scooping complete.
So there's a very small, narrow band up here.
System scan complete. Freight ship drive charging.
47-2. Alright, so one more jump. We have tagged 47-6. Doing all right.
Frameshift drive charging.
And then little tiny hump. So what we did on our last scan through here was we started all the way at -1000 where the carrier is, hopped over a couple sectors to the target sector, and then went all the way up to from -1000 to 0. Did the Hypou sector, went from 0 up to +1000, did the Zuni sector, which is the same column. And then now we're hopping over to the Hypou Aod systems. So now we're starting at +1000 and then drilling down back to -1000 and then probably catch the carrier after we're done. In a lot of the other stuff that we've done thus far, it's been starting at 0 and then going all the way up and all the way down and back. And as such, it tends to be a bit of a slog because everything's kind of... Since we're going up and down and then back to the middle, we're kind of duplicating everything. So this sort of needle and thread approach is going pretty nicely.
System scan complete.
Right, there weren't any in that area, just gas giant. Okay, so from here, we go over to our scanner, and we say from this, we're only getting to 14.6 light years, which means that we're, judging by the size of the bar that's over here, it also is telling us that this is maxing out at 49. If we don't necessarily believe it, or if we went into the map and this is a pretty thin sector, this is pretty thick, I think we're good with calling it 49. But yeah, if this was a very thin sector, so that there weren't that many stars here, then we would probably want to count it. But I'm pretty confident on that one that this is 49 and maxing out at 14.6. Okay, so now we're going to go down to Z coordinate of 950. With 10,000 and 23,000. Yep. So we're trying to get as close to this point as we can, I think. Yeah. That one's pretty good. That one's straight across, so let's just do that. Cool. HG-XB47-B. We're at 10,001. Fractions we're not going to count. 950. and 23,003. Set course. And let's go. Didn't see those. Okay. Now we go in. Again, maxing out 49 systems at a distance of 15.6 light years. And then we choose the next one. That's it. Yep, right there. Okay, so this is going to be LW-W B47-4. Coordinates 10,000, 902, 22,998.
Frameshift drive charging.
So this is the other awesome thing about the Mandalay. Unlike the
Scooping complete.
unlike the Python Mark II, I can leave it scooping fuel and come in here and do this for however long it takes. Usually not that long. We've got 13 bodies, currently discovered 5. So it's only going to take, like I said, another minute or two. The Python Mark II overheats unbelievably fast. So we would have to probably hop out of here by about now and go to a slightly safer distance. Realistically, I probably wouldn't have left it here. We would have idled a little bit further away from the star, scooping at a rate of like 50 to 100 tons per second rather than 300 or whatever it was that I left it at. Yeah, those would be on the star. Right like that. I should... There we go.
System scan complete.
Right. Nice. 11.9. Okay. Oop. Yeah, no, that's right. This is kind of a thin area, comparatively. I mean, given what the other sectors were like. It's slightly surprising. Okay, that one looks good. RHW B47-23 coordinates 9999 by 8, nope, that's a 9, 848 by 23,003. That's 2,300. 23,003. Okay.
Frame shift drive charging. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Oh, we got an Earthlight. Nice. So that one we will actually submit to the Distant Worlds stuff. We just gotta find it first. Nope. Damn. Ammonia-based life, nice. Come on, Earth-like. Not here. Okay. Most of these are icy. That's just the one behind that, okay.
System scan complete.
Oh, it's an ammonia world. Alright, never mind. Curses. Well, we won't send that one to Distant Worlds then. Okay, here, RHWB 47-23, maxed out at 13.3. Very dense sector here. All right. VXV B47-15 at 9998 802 23,000.
Frame shift drive charging.
All right, we're going to start an ad break here very soon. Thank you everybody for coming along on the scientific survey. Boo. Get clear of the star, and then we'll go to here. Right, we shall return in about 3 minutes. Thank you everybody for coming, and yeah, clear skies. We'll be right back. Welcome back in. Trying to figure out if there's an easy way to open up the ventilation slats on the window. This is too big. pencil ought to work. There we go. I don't like that very much. In an effort to keep the moth population in here to hopefully 0, I'm just gonna open the door or open the window for like a minute. Put the fan on high. I already opened the bathroom window, so it's hopefully gonna just draw a nice little breeze in here.
System scan complete.
12.3. Well, we did drop the temperature in this room at least pretty significantly. Yeah. That's pretty equal in terms of which one of these two is going to be closer. Let's go with this one. Okay. BJ-VB 47-1. 10,002, 752, 22,997. Whoops. And then we just don't bother setting a course for it. It's all good. E47-1. Yep.
Frame shift drive charging.
I'd like to see if I can just take the... No. Has to be a very specific system. It can't be just the sector name, which is too bad.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. System scan complete.
Okay. This one maxes out at 11.9. FZ-UB 47-15, and we are at 10,002, 723,001.
Frame shift drive charging.
Okay.
Fuel scooping complete. System scan complete.
.7. Okay. LK-U B4717. We're at 9997. 6648 by 22,999.
Frame shift drive charging.
maxed out at 12.5. Ooh, nice. Okay. PA-U B47-20. 10,000. 600. 23,000.
Frameshift drive charging.
Let's also just check out the graph here for a sec. Nice.
Fuel scooping complete. System scan complete.
Maxed out again at 11.3 this time. Man. It disappeared right there. Yeah, that one, I guess. Closest we can get. VP-K C2336. Coordinates for that one are going to be $10,003 by 548 by 22,996.
Frameshift drive charging.
47. XZ-F D11-524. This is going to be 10,003, 500, and 23,001.
Frameshift drive charging. System scan complete. Fuel
Okay, well. 13.8.
Fuel scooping complete.
That's good. FN-S B47-11. Okay. It's going to be 9998. 448. 22,998.
Frameshift drive charging.
That's a little close to the star. And again, things I would never dare do in a Python Mark II. Of course, why would you be exploring systems in a Python Mark II? Well, you just make do with what you got. So oftentimes if I'm running missions in a new sector, that's just what's going to happen anyway.
Scan complete. Fuel scooping.
Alright. 11.9.
Fuel scooping complete.
DW-J C23-58. Location. Okay. 10,002. 401. 2301.
Frame shift drive charging. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
BQ-F D11-137. Location 9999 350 23,000.
Frame shift drive charging. Fuel scooping. System scan complete.
So 13.4.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
BQ-F D11-819 9997 305 23002.
Frame shift drive charging.
far is that? Wait, what? What? Why would I do that? That's so weird. This is where we are. Okay, let's not use the jet cone boost for this one. And try again. Really? Oh. Never mind. Peek. Where'd it go? Okay, that is where we are. That is where we want to go. Okay. It's ever so slightly off from, or just out of our range, so we can't do it technically. Right. ZP-Q B47-44 10,000. Oh, one's probably close enough. It's like right in the middle. 249 by 23,000.
Frame shift drive charging.
if that's all of them, but it's some at the very least. Yeah. Very close. Oh, yep, got them all.
System scan complete. Frameshift drive charging.
Current maximum 55.17 light year jump range. And the jump we just made was 54 something, so the fact that we also had to go horizontally makes that diagonal just ever so slightly too long.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. System scan complete.
FG-F D11-459. Okay. 9998 201 23001.
Frameshift drive charging. System scan complete. Fuel scooping.
Great. 982, there we go. Now start dropping into the single digits.
Fuel scooping complete.
Okay, JR-P B47-1 9999 150 22,999. Hey, Sai, how you doing? Yeah, well, welcome on in. We're doing a scientific survey, so it's sort of gaming. We've already had that much, so... But yes, thank you.
System scan complete.
Right. So what we're doing is we're looking at the... we're looking at how many systems are immediately surrounding this particular system that we're in, which you can see at the top left corner, Hypou Aod JR-P B47-1. It's a very descriptive system. There are 49 other systems in this list, bringing it to a grand total of 50 systems that this scanner can see, and the furthest one away from our current location is 8.8 light years away. It maxes out at 49. So what we do is we come over to our spreadsheet. We say that there are 49 systems that are being counted at a maximum distance of 8.8 light years. And then that gives us our density of the galaxy. So this is a simulated environment of the Milky Way galaxy, a 1-to-1 approximation of our literal galaxy. So if we wanted to actually zoom out, you could tell, like, again, there are all these systems, like, way out here. We could just keep zooming out until we get to here. This is our kind of standard set of star systems that we have, like ships and other stuff at. So this is where we're eventually heading, back over to here. Hey Peach Tea, how we doing? No Man's Sky is a professional navigator, yeah. The black hole in the middle is Sagittarius A star, which it gets kind of dense in the middle here. There it is. Ooh. Right there. That's the problem, is it gets really hard to actually see it. Yep, there we go. There we go. Oop. Yep, supermassive black hole. It is currently at a distance of roughly 10,400 light years from where I am. We are a bit to the east of here, if you can consider it that. And right here in this system, we have a supercarrier that is currently carrying all these people on this particular exploration mission. It's called Distant Worlds. So basically what we did was we all hopped onto a carrier somewhere in this sector. It's like NGC 1981, off in this direction. NGC 1981 is a real star catalog from 1981, as it says on the tin. And so we all hopped on the supercarrier I'm on, and there are also 3 others, I think. We hopped all the way out here to Colonia, which is the secondary group of star systems that like have a human colony posted at it. So they just basically wanted to, like, the devs wanted to kind of expand or encourage expansion. So they put a bunch of star systems here and said, like, look, humanity's colonizing it. And then it encouraged people to start creating a superhighway running back and forth, and then, like, start exploring off the beaten path. So we've got, like, this essentially well-worn path that runs from here to here of explored systems, and then, like, there are several that branch off. People especially like sticking to the arms of the galaxy because those are nice and dense. Distant Worlds then jumped out this way out to Beagle Point, which is one of the furthest points, one of the furthest star systems on the edge of the galaxy. And the patch for Distant Worlds is actually this sector shape put, like, on the patch, so it's kind of cool. And then we hopped back over this way, did some stuff over here, and then hopped back over here. There is one set of carriers over here. Wait. Yeah, I think there's one carrier down here, and there's like 2 or 3 others down here. In the next 3 weeks, in the next 2 weeks, we're going to jump back through a couple more points and then head back to what's called the bubble. So the area where humanity kind of just always has existed. So this is Elite Dangerous. It is a it is the yeah, it's just just a game. But I mean, if you know much about astrophysics, which it seems like you do, you'll know, like, there are a bunch of catalogs. There's also a lot of systems in here which are not real. Scoudue with subheading of VQ-O, like, seems pretty suspicious. I don't think this is a real system. However, the developer in charge of the galaxy, by the name of Dr. K. Ross, went in here and said, or built software with a team to, like, create all the known and unknown stars in our galaxy based on, like, some basic information that we know about the galaxy, and then it kind of seeded from what we know out into the rest of it. What do the other spiral arm galaxies look like? It's going to look something like that. So Dr. K. Ross, 07 Commander, occasionally pops into the game. Can I find a binary system? That is a good question. Actually, yes, we're in one. In fact, we're in a trinary system, I believe. Yep, there we go. There's nothing else here, but we just have 3 stars. So main sequence, M class. Yeah, here we go. M9 variable. We have class L, L6 variable, and a T Tauri. No, that can't be right. No, class T dwarf. It's also a variable. What about the incident in which a star appeared to come out of a black hole? I would need to look that one up, because I don't think I know it. Can we actually locate supervoids? If you're talking about, like, the voids between the arms, in theory. So, yeah, that's not a supervoid. That's barely a void. So if we were to come out to like this sector out here, you might be able to find somewhere where there's not a lot of stars. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I basically got nothing. It's pretty impressive. I actually thought that, because we have the other arm here. Yeah, here we go. Plague. These stars are incredibly few and far between in the Lyra's Song region. Oops. Uh-oh. Did I break something? Oh, no. There we go. Yeah, Hawking's Gap here is going to be also very few and far between. In addition that it has, the name Gap in the name. There we go. Do have some. Does every star have a system of planets? No. So the one that we're in right now is just a trinary system and no planets. Anyway, we're gonna head. Well, I guess, yep. Ad break already started, so it's gonna be 3 minutes, and we'll be right back. I'm gonna grab some more water. Make sure you go and cycle yours. Get up and stretch and do all that good stuff. Take any meds that you may have. And we will see you shortly. Thank you very much, everybody, for sticking around. Define decent cut. I believe I am getting somewhere around $1 American per stream. So, Super Chicken! 07 Commander, how's it going? We are currently on the Distant Worlds 3 expedition. We are out in the Arcadian Stream sector of the galaxy, or region of the galaxy, Arcadian Stream here. Currently, the supercarrier Fimbultul that we're flying on is out here, somewhere. God, I don't even know how far that is. Okay, about 2,100 light years. Not too bad. We're currently flying a Mandalay, and it's a few neutron jumps. It's not too bad. Oh yeah. So the problem is that I've only got usually somewhere between 1 and 10 viewers at any given time. So if you all want to support the stream, definitely get the word out there. Naturally, the ones that I want people to come to especially are going to be my Monday and Wednesday night streams, which are on math. So the math stuff is much more important than this silliness. Which still, this is like pseudo math, because we're still doing some actual calculate. I mean, I'm not doing the calculations, but we're doing some stuff that adds data to the player base. That's true. Elite is life. But I only stream it once every so often. I don't even do it regularly once a week. I'm only up to 62 streams on it. But nonetheless. So right now what we're doing is we're doing a stellar density scan. So we're coming into each of these individual systems along the voxel, 10,000 by 23,000. And we're basically stopping at all of these individual systems that I've got here and doing or counting how many systems there are in the list. Currently, we're maxing out every single time. So we're maxing out at 49, plus the system we're in makes 50. So there are 50 visible systems from all of these systems. And those 50 max out at, if you check the spreadsheet up there, these numbers over here in this column. The max distance is what is the furthest distance away that our 49th system is. Currently, right, the ones that we're doing here, the next system that we go to, NHP B47-13, is probably going to be, roughly speaking, about 8 light years. And so this is just saying that this whole sector of the galaxy is incredibly dense. There's stars upon stars upon stars immediately surrounding us. So hence the 2001 reference, or well, I guess 2010 reference technically. My God, it's full of stars. We're going from here. We have two more jumps to do, one at layer 50 and one at layer 0 for the Z values. And then once we get those, we'll switch over to the minus version of this, and then we start going down from here to minus 1,000. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000. So we'll end up down here around these. So when we hop through, when we finish all of those, we'll send the information that we have to the Distant Worlds 3 science team, and they will crunch some data and give us a neat little summary about how they think the galaxy was put together in Stellar Forge, which is Dr. K. Ross's she was, I believe, project lead and like the astrophysicist on the team, essentially. Don't know if I've heard that music before. And in the meantime, we still scan a bunch of planets and see if there's anything really cool. If there are any Earth-likes, which this one does not have, they would be in this area, this bracket here. There's just nothing there. If there are any Earth-likes, we can also potentially send that information to Distant Worlds as like a separate thing. We did find a bunch like a ways back, but I didn't know about the submission form, so oops. And I'm not going back through and manually typing each and every single one. That would be insane. So there's only 49 visible systems in your scanner. So if you go to your left-hand panel, there are only 49 systems in here if you set filter by system only. And the furthest system away is 8.43 light years. So again, we're going to do 49, system count 49, max distance 8.43, and that calculates this new value here for rho. The rho is the density, and usually rho is the symbol for density that's used in like math and physics, so it makes sense. And that gives us our new value. So that put in this, you can't see my mouse, so the one right next to 0.02. It's yep, that last dot jumped up. So if I scratch that, oops. Oh no, that was terrible. Yeah, no, that's fine. Anyway, that's what it does. So put that back in, and it drops it in, changes all the visibility or all the axes and stuff like that, and shows us a picture of it. So at this point, then we're going up to the next one in the list. So the way to do this is we go into the map, change our Z coordinate to 50, zoom in and try to find the one that's closest to this hash mark right here, which is at 10,000, 50, 23,000, which is going to be this system right here. So Hypou Aod TS-O B47-90. And then we go with what are the coordinates of the system? So it's 10,000, 50, 23,001. Yeah, I think it's just a maximum filter. So not only the nav panel, but all the server requests and stuff like that. Right, it would be, well, I mean, I guess it wouldn't necessarily have to have a server request, but we probably have, I mean, I don't know. Would we have a... I would imagine that we have a local side spreadsheet. maybe not. Just of like the coordinates of every star system, or not like literally every star system, but maybe like everything within X distance of us. Just so that it doesn't have to send repeated server requests for it. But yeah, I don't know. Right, we still need to go grab the rest of the system. So, let's scan these real quick. How goes life on the other side? Super chicken? In case it wasn't clear. I am often not clear. That's okay. Okinawa Island, nice. We just moved house ourselves. The owners of the previous place wanted to move back in, so I guess rental company gave us 2 months, which is pretty standard. So we got a new place. This one's pretty awesome. Yep, and a lot smaller. At least this room. So this room is mine, but it is a lot smaller than the other one was. And there's a playroom that is through that wall. That's also like much larger, but then I would have to share it. So yeah, I decided to have at least my own space, even if I can't do all the martial arts stuff that I want in this room. We'll deal with it. Having my own stream space is nice. You guys got a lot smaller, yeah. That was one of the things for us, was like the last place was like right downtown, and so like if you wanted to go out for dinner, it was like a 2-minute walk. And you could expand your restaurant repertoire to however far you wanted to. But that was pretty nice, being that close to the just larger downtown area. Where we are now, there's virtually no commercial establishments within probably a quarter mile, but that's not too bad, honestly. It also means that, generally speaking, we don't get a lot of foot traffic, like, right outside our door. Although the other place we didn't have much foot traffic, it was, however, very amusing to watch people come down the road, look at their map, look at the giant brick wall that's in front of them and go, huh, and then I have to turn around and go back around. Occasionally I would lean out the window and be helpful. had a predetermined endpoint for this. So we had XI-O4752. It's this one.
Frame shift drive charging.
Yeah, you can definitely get our steps in. So from here to the kids' school is up like one really steep hill. Really steep. If I bike down it, I need to put the brakes on because it's pretty steep. But going up is pretty tiring, and my son complains all the time. I don't want to walk. This is awful. Why do we have to do this? And this morning I looked at him and I'm like, hey, took you longer to complain this morning than it did on the previous days. Good job. He's like, no, don't point that out. I can tell you're getting stronger.
Fuel sweeping complete.
Okay. There's that one. The other one's beyond the sun. So just boost away. There it is.
System scan complete.
Boop. Alright, back to 1. And the furthest of the 49 other systems around us, the furthest one away is 7.07 light years. That's bonkers. Okay. So this is the stellar density scan of this voxel. So it just makes a... I've basically got a 20 light year by 20 light year square. So on the map it's 4 of the 10 by 10 squares. Right, so we're starting like well, the target is here, right? This crosshash here. And so basically if I go 10 light years in any of the 4 cardinal directions, that is the larger square that I want to consider all of the potential systems to be in. We do want to get as close to the central crosshash as possible. Like I said before, most of the time it works fine. When I did these stellar density scans when we were out here, however, you notice that these, if I went to 20, 10, 400, and 0. If I started here, there's still a lot of systems, but the closest one to this crosshash is going to be that one right there. And then if we were to go out to 1,000, there's not a lot here in the first place. It's like, in fact, this voxel has no systems in it at the level of 1,000. So I was just like, well, we're just going to find the closest one. So it's one of those two. Sure, why not? It's going to be that one right there. Okay, well, let's go to that system and call it the highest one that we're going to go to. So it's been kind of interesting to like negotiate all of this to determine what exactly we're doing. Alright, so now we're going to switch over to the negative region. So I actually do have the spreadsheet set up to go to this other one, the negative region, and this was 7.07. Yep. Which now we do this on this side, 7.07, and now we get the start of this one. Let's see. You can all see the names, it's fine, then we'll move over as time goes on. So this is the process after, how long have I been doing this now? Like 3 months? The process has been refined pretty well to kind of speed it up a little bit. You know, it mostly works. Okay, so now we go over to here. Hypou Aod fx-z b47-111, and x coordinate is 10,000, z coordinate is negative 51, and y coordinate is 23,002. Same as the other one. Alright, and then just for S's and G's here, oh, you know what? We don't have to figure out the bottom side. When I was trying to do this earlier, I needed to put in a 0 location. So where are we going to hit the 0 z value? Reason being that when we put in the 0 z value, it gives us this distance here, which is the distance from Sol. So the distance from Sol that we have calculated to Hypou Aod xi-o b47-52 is 25,080 light years, and the radius from the core of the galaxy is 10,380. So those two figures end up getting used a lot in various calculations. Okay, so this is our next stop, and that also means, right, I need to change that. Nope, not that one. Alt tab on the wrong keyboard. I need to change the name of our tab. So this is the Hypou Aod negative when we go down. I do try to keep these together. It gets a little crazy. Oops. Okay. So system count. These are virtually going to be 49 for every single one of these. Maybe we're going to find one that's very thin, but the max distance will almost certainly be over 18. And so, and the other thing that I do is I look at this, and if you notice the size of the ribbon, like, it's going to be different if it's not 49. Also, when you set a target for your next jump, it will add it to the bottom. We don't want that. So, you know, usually you do all of your counts before you set the next jump. Not that it matters much. It's probably fine. Everybody's all good. Righto. We also have an alert that our carrier will stay put for the time being, so we will not have to jump 2,000 light years in some random direction to figure out where it's going. It's going to be in the current location for at least, quote, a little while. Nothing like British specificity.
Fuel scooping complete.
Yep, there we go. Alright, again, no Earth likes in this sector, so that's okay. Oops. No. No, there it is.
System scan complete.
Alright. 7.54, so we're going to max out again. Probably that one, honestly. This is only a 1 light year horizontally, but it's roughly 2 upward, so that one's probably better. JN-Z B47-3 10,002 by negative 100 by 23,000.
Frameshift drive charged.
I've been running a non-D&D TTRPG for the last, God, I don't even know, six months at this point. The group is a bunch of chaos gremlins, as always. As it should be. But the the module kind of left a lot to be desired in terms of like the world at large. It was really focused on one town, or city, and then like introducing the rest of the world without really putting too much like specific in it. And it didn't really have a beginning, and it didn't really have an end. And I was like, we need to like fill out the lore for this place. So I've been kind of working on it on and off for quite a while. The last time I ran this game was for my friends back in Maryland in like 2016, maybe 2017, something like that. So yeah, it's been like 10 years, and I didn't really do a whole lot in terms of like the world at large. I just kind of came up with a few ideas. But I was I was thinking about like the beginning, and back in Maryland I'd figured out like, oh, I want to do something that's like basically a heist gone wrong, and they're all going to get yanked into the police station, and then they're going to get busted out of the police station as a consequence of somebody trying to hit the police station to, like, steal an artifact. They've confiscated it as evidence, and so they want to, like, this gang wants to steal it. And, so I'd originally had the idea that I would secretly ask all the players, what faction do you want to work for? Do you want to work for the police? Do you want to be a gang member? Do you want to be a mercenary, and which side do you work for? Or do you want to be like a teamster? Like, basically innocent bystander who's just trying to get a paycheck. So after we split everybody up, I put them onto, you know, you're on the SWAT team if you're coming in. You're on the you're on, like, the guard duty team if you're working for the gang, or you're just literally taking stuff back and forth between the trucks and the floor if you're a teamster. And they have a SWAT scenario where everybody gets to test out their characters' abilities and stuff like that. They can potentially be firing at each other and things like that. And then when the conflict is over, the police have an overwhelming force. They will win. The gang has a guy who's going to try to take one of the trucks and go. So, like, do the police or the people working for the police, do they have the ability to go catch them? Obviously, they're going to be caught eventually, but it's just a matter of, like, you know, does this team right here catch them, or do the guys outside catch them? NPCs. So then they get to the police station, and I had our guys conduct interviews, and so it was like, okay, now is your time to, like, introduce your character. You know, what does everybody see? What you know, as the camera comes in and you're sitting there going, I didn't do anything. I want my lawyer. You know, what does everybody see? What kind of attitude does your character exude to everyone else around them? That sort of thing. So I think it went really well. And then because everybody needs to escape together, and, like, the police detective gives them the artifact in question and tells them, you need to go to XYZ place, you need to go together, you need to stick together, people will be hunting you. And so it's like, they have to come together as a unit. And the thing is that, like, you're going to do that around the table anyway, because these are your friends, right? Even if you don't know anybody at the table. This is presumably the party that you're going to be in, so you better, like, cozy up. And then we go into, after everybody leaves the scenario area, we go into a discussion of, okay, so over the next month, you all become a cohesive group. Let's discuss how that happened, so that we don't have to, like, go through the actual slog of trying to come from 3 disparate groups of people who are probably pissed off at each other to, like, everybody singing Kumbaya around the campfire. So there's a bunch of questions that's like, okay, so in the last month, you've gone on several missions, you've done several things. What was one of these missions? Cool. How did it go wrong? Like, not even like, how did you all do? How did it go wrong? You immediately put that in. What was the first mission that you succeeded? What was the first mission you failed? You know, just going through all these questions and trying to get people to piece together what, yeah, whoops. Oh well. Didn't get the coordinates. Just getting everybody to piece together, like, you know, how they became a cohesive group. -1, 52, and 2302. But it's a really great setup. And then I got into the scenario where I needed to figure out what the BBEG is at the end, the big bad evil guy. So I figure I'm going to have a look through the bestiary. Anybody who's heard this story before, I'm sorry. So Fantasy Age is the system we use. It's 3d6 for pretty much every roll that you do. And I got to Charnel Knight, and I was like, ooh, yes please. So, really nasty looking Death Knights, essentially. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool. Now, how does that work in a techno-fantasy realm like the one we're using? Wasn't too sure. But then, I saw the plot hook all the way here at the bottom. 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. I was like, yes, please. So, the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, I was like, okay, so they're probably, like, created by a bunch of scientists in some far-flung past who had, like, a flair for the dramatic, who were just like, you know, technology is going too wild. We need to take it down a notch. So they, like, invent these robots to go and destroy technology, destroy some pieces of society. To, like, it's essentially eugenics, but, like, slightly less directed. So not like we're targeting these people. It's more like we're targeting society as a whole until the technology reaches below a certain level. Yeah, they seem friendly. And then I was like, okay, so, like, 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, we're going to beef up their HP, we're going to beef up their damage, we're going to beef up their armor, like, all this stuff. How could I put, like, an edge on it to make it a little more dangerous? Oh, here we go. Eldritch Crowns. So basically, these are living artifacts that are magical, that pretend that they're crowns, and pretend that they are magical items which are going to help the people wearing them. Which means that if the party thinks that these things are like magical artifacts that are going to be like, you know, cool treasure that they can now wear, and they have magical effects for them, this can go real bad for them. So, I mean, it's going to be a long time before they face off against any of them for real. I had intended on day 1 to have them face off against one of the knights, but he never made it into the picture because I rolled so poorly. Which is actually all for the best, because I didn't have, like, any minis, I didn't have, like, any good stuff. But I have primed my 4 minis. So this is the mini of Lord Soth, but I said, okay, this is war. This guy's going to be war. His basic, like, abilities on this guy is mostly buffing. He's the general, right? He's going to buff everybody on his side, and he's going to debuff everybody on the player's side. Then we have Famine, the robot who's also kind of a scientist slash mage, who's going to do genetic engineering to create crop blights. We have Pestilence, who is going to like spew forth genetically modified disease in order to A, disease people, but also B, to mark them. So once somebody has had the particular disease and they have gotten over it, they are targeted for death. And so death will find them. I have also termed death the death snail, because at some point he's just going to inexorably begin walking toward the party. And like, if they happen to be in the same place at the same time, he will engage them. It's gonna, take a bit of time for it to happen, but it will eventually happen. So I've got to figure out like color palettes and stuff like that. I think I might be able to do this on like Hero Forge and recreate them, just to play around with their colors and stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. But on Thursday nights, generally speaking, Thursday night my time, UTC, I'm doing TTRPG prep. So if there's anybody out there who's interested in learning more about this world that I've got here, it also comes from, originally, the Titan's Grave, the Ashes of Volcana module book, which was co-written by Will Wheaton, his son Ryan, and the team at Green Ronin Publishing. There were also a few other friends from Geek and Sundry who helped out on, like, as guest writers. So it's really cool. I like it. I've also been desperately wanting to do another TTRPG called Vast, which was written by Jackson Lansing, but unfortunately, I don't believe he has the rights to it at the moment, and so he can't like develop the book and then sell it, which is really too bad because there's a lot of people who really want it. TO-Y B47-21. Okay, 10,000. Negative 199 and 2302.
Freight shift drive charging.
Yep. Well, good luck, Super Chicken. Hope everything goes well. And lovely seeing you again, too. Hope we'll catch you around, wherever that may be. See you next time. Not recently. There's a result stock. Ooh, the potato hunt. Do we already have this? You know, you and I were just working on the area of possible, but it's probably not the same one, huh? Nope, not the same one. Okay, cool. I will check that out. Thank you. Well, I will have to check out those videos. Great. Thank you so much. 4721 gets us 49 systems at 8. Nope. Man. 49 systems at 8.58 light years. And then, I think this is going to be the last thing we do here, is just mark what the next system's going to be. Just going to be that one. Hypou Aod. ZZ-X. Nice. B47-16. Which is at coordinates 9998, negative 250, 23001. So we'll mark that, and then we will save this for next time. Nice. I hope everybody has a good night, and we're gonna hop over to see a friend. Who do we have on tonight? I think Dawn is doing DayZ, so we may stop over with Dawn. SDK Phoenix is doing Red Dead Redemption 2. I believe that's the, yeah, that's the roleplay server. Don's doing some Namalsk. Alright, we're going to come back on Monday and do some math communication. In the meantime, next few days we're just going to relax, and I'll see you all probably on other people's channels and stuff like that. But I will be off stream for a couple of days and just relaxing. Hope you all have a good night. My name's ObiPEZ. This is N Simplex Pachinko. Catch you next time. 07 Commanders.